Well, I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is we are back on the DokeyCraft server. We've got all sorts of gifts, including one that is attached to Ferdinand up there. So I'll have to check those out in a second. But before we check those out, the bad news is that the bridge that we made in the last episode, well, it's gone. We had some server issues and, well, it may or may not have been my fault. Basically, whenever someone went into this portal, the server crashed. So the solution was just to get rid of the portal. Unfortunately, before we figured that out, well, we'd already rolled back the server to a previous time when I didn't have this bridge put in. So I've got to do some rebuilding. But rather than bore you with the same build all over again, I've been gone for a while, so let's get updated on the server. Happy birthday, Purple. Well, this is so sweet, but I mean, well, my birthday isn't for another 11 months. A bit early, but we take those. Wow, has it been that long since I was on the server? And let's see, there's also a book that came with it, so let's check that out. It's a group project, requires a master of building and bravery, creating the Klegger Core mining facility where Obi-Wan and Anakin fought on Mustafar. Well, sign me up for that. Oh wait, I have to sign myself up. Purple. Sign. Now I've just got to deliver this to Starking's base, and because my nether portal's broken, well, we've just got to take the long way. Alright, here we are. Okay, this has got to be the derpiest C-3PO ever, and the fact that you can see the frog eyes up above is just... wow. Wow, this is perfect. We'll just pop this in here. And now we've got to fly all the way back. All right, let's see. We have some kind of map. Let's just stick this in an item frame. Pasta sauce missing. Lost zombie. Please return to Lanzalet. Well, I will absolutely keep an eye out for it. We've also got another chest over here and a sign that has nothing on it. Couldn't find your mailbox. Did you get a Swift Sneak book or no from GC? Turns out I have a spare. GC, you're the best. For some context, after we went and got the Happy Gas, we also made a brief pit stop by the Deep Dark, and, well, I wanted a Swift Sneak 3 book really, really bad, and I didn't get it. So GC, you are the best. I'll have to talk to him later. And finally, if we can convince Ferdinand to come down here. Ferdinand, down here, buddy. Right here. Right, nope, that's the wrong way. There you are. Let's check this out. And I got in it. Let's see, how do I actually... No, come back. Do I have to shift click this? Oh, there we go. Okay, I saw in it really briefly. That looks awesome, but we're just gonna, wait, how do I... No. Guys, how do you remove something that a ghast is carrying? Okay, that worked. And now I'll shift click this and oh my, there's ancient debris, purple dye, balloons, happy birthday purple from Lapis. Okay, seriously, that's an incredible gift. Wow. And it just gets better. Look at, oh, I mean, can you ever really have too much redstone? Golden apples, totems, enchanted golden apple. Lapis, you're the best. Which means I think the only thing left to do now is get started on the Brit. Well, that's convenient.
Hello.
General Crusader.
What's up?
Well, I am rebuilding this bridge. In fact, you arriving here is sort of ruining the illusion of my intro, but it's all good.
Should I have come later then?
Nope, this is the perfect time.
Turns out I had an extra pair of leggings with Swift Sneak 3, so I didn't need this book.
Wow. Okay, let me, oh, I missed it.
Oh.
Don't worry. Second time's the charm. Here I am.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, there you go.
Oh, wow. Swift Sneak 3. Dude, you are absolutely the best. I got this in my single player world, and I've gotten so used to having it that this feels unplayable. It's so bad.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You're seriously saving me so much time.
Oh, good luck with your bridge. I know you made it once before and now you're kind of having to rebuild it, right?
Yeah,
it's the server reset.
Yeah, so I guess it should take less time this time. Although unfortunately, I also had to gather a bunch of resources because my resource gathering was also sort of rolled back, so I had to get like basalt and mud and acacia wood and yep, but it'll hopefully be done tonight.
Nice, let's go.
I've got a pizza in the oven right now, so I'm gonna take a break to eat dinner at like 11 p.m.
Yeah, I get that.
And then I'll probably finish this around like 3 in the morning, so it'll be great.
Yeah, let's go. All right, yeah. Good luck with your bridge. I'll
All
head
right.
off now and log on later.
Oh, dude, seriously, thank you so much. This is gonna save me so much time. Guys, I have some good news and some bad news. I can't believe that's the second time I've said that in this video. And for those of you who are just here for the building, don't worry, we're gonna get to that really soon. But the good news is fantastic. As you guys just saw, GC gave me a visit, and we have a Swift Sneak 3 book, which means finally I can take off these leggings and I can put Swift Sneak 3 on them. Cost 27, but that is totally worth it. Look at that sneak. Look at how swift it is. Okay, on to the bad news. Actually, no, the bad news is too bad. I don't want to deal with that right now. I'm just gonna fly up to my storage area, grab a couple building blocks, and I am going to take some of this stone and I'm gonna start building because this is my happy place. You see, in the last episode we built this bridge, but the bridge doesn't actually go anywhere, which is why at the moment I am placing down some stone blocks and I want to figure out exactly where this bridge goes. I talked about coming over to this continent for a long time. In fact, this was really my original plan. Like, you know, I was gonna build the tower and then come over here and create some sort of kingdom. And then at some point I decided, oh, that's just too much work. I don't know if I can get all of that done in this season. Because at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I finish whatever I start. But no, I changed my mind. We are going to do this. We're going to do this the right way, and it's going to be epic. So after getting a general idea of where I want the wall to go, I spent a little time smoothing it out to make it look a little better, including adding in some nice symmetries, especially around the bridge to make it look more man-made. And yes, I totally messed that up. Don't worry, I fixed it later. It's a little bit tough to get a good view of the wall from on the bridge because of how tall these little sides are, but if I stand on top, and actually, yeah, I think this is the best place to look at it, but this is actually pretty tall. I mean, it's nothing compared to the tower, but I mean, come on, that's not a good comparison. For now, it's still really simple. In fact, the only detail at all is just this little tiny portcullis over here that I don't know, I have some vague ideas for what to do with it, but hopefully this starts to give you a little idea of the scale that we're working with here, because this is going to be massive. I have plans for this to go all the way around. We'll probably come over to here and then maybe even all the way back to where this little beach starts. I don't know, maybe I'm getting a little bit ambitious, but I really want to create something awesome over here. At the end of the day, maybe this front area will be city and then we'll have some sort of castle, or, you know, maybe all of this will just be farmland. It really just depends on how much time I have, how long the season lasts, you know, all those little things, but I think we can get a lot done. And there actually is a very specific reason that I stopped the wall over here, and that is because I want to get rid of all of this land in here, because you can see we have a little inlet going out to the ocean, but then across from here, if I just walk over here, is a massive river, and this river goes a very long ways. In fact, if I really wanted to, I could follow this all the way back to spawn. So I think it'll be really cool to get that hooked up to the actual ocean. But for now, I think it's time we get started on detailing the wall, and I think the best place to start is to add a few towers. I'm just over here minding my own business, trying to put in the base of one of the towers when Hades and Poseidon suddenly decide it's the perfect time to unleash their divine anime combo move just to spite me. I'm not okay. Please send help. And believe it or not, I actually put a lot of time into exactly how I wanted to shape the bottom of these towers. My hope is that when you take your first glance at it, it looks a little bit natural. Almost like there were a bunch of rocks here and then the people of the city just came in and built the towers on top of them. But then as you look more closely, it just looks a little bit too symmetrical, a little bit too perfect to be natural. And speaking of symmetries, I tried to look at each of these sets of towers as a pair. So like with these two, they're exactly the same going into the tower, they're the same height, and even the base is the same shape. Whereas for the two over on this side, it's the exact same way. We've got this same central area. Both of the towers are the same height. And this is going to be really tough to see, but the base of these two is actually a little bit flatter than the ones over here on this side. I just brought out the bottom a little bit more because these ones are closer to the wall. I don't know. I don't think anybody but me is going to really notice or care, but now you know. Another really minor detail that I really like is if I fly back into the tower, inside of the tower, we have this really dark palette, especially with the walls coming up. We've got like the deep slate and blackstone combination up at the top. But then as you come out, and it's a little bit easier if I go over the side of the bridge, you can see the bridge is just a little bit lighter. I used a whole bunch of the outward facing basalt and the outward facing deep slate to give it a slightly lighter color. And the difference will be a lot more obvious when I finish the tower exterior. But anyway, we move from the darker to a little bit lighter. And then as you get to the wall of the city, it's quite a bit lighter. I mean, at the bottom, we start with some of the darker tuff, and then we work up all the way until it's basically just stone bricks. My hope is that the tower and its surrounding island feels pretty aesthetically distinct from the rest of the city over here. I mean, the tower should be something sort of magical and dark and mysterious. Whereas with the city, I want it to also feel magical, but also have a slightly more bright feel. I don't know, I'm having a little bit of trouble describing it, but I think as I get the rest of this wall and the gate in, it'll be a little bit more clear. But all of this to say that the bridge doesn't just connect the land on this side to the land on that side, it also thematically connects the tower to the slightly lighter build that we have in the city. Go ahead and leave a like if you enjoy thematically consistent Minecraft building. But enough yapping, let's get back to building. Well, I had originally planned to add a roof onto these last two, but I kind of like it like this. And no, I'm not just saying that to save myself the time of making two more roofs. I actually think it really works. The entire intention behind putting these roofs up on the towers is to make it look magical, because nothing says magical like a bunch of roofs that look like witches' hats. Man, I look good. But seriously, I have a whole bunch of plans for this city, including, well, something to do with this gigantic hole that we put here. Yeah, I definitely want to utilize this in some way. I want to build a big medieval type city with gigantic walls and big towers, but I also want to give it its own unique spin and incorporate the big tower that we have over there. You know, like the tower was here first, and it's this big, ancient, you know, people don't fully understand it completely, kind of magical tower. And then because this is such a cultural and economic and maybe even religious hub, all sorts of people congregated and they ended up forming this city over here, which I still don't have a name for. I'll work on it. But anyway, I think I'm going to leave it like this for now. Let me know in the comments if you want me to add roofs onto these ones, but personally, I think it looks pretty good because it gives these ones just a little bit more of a distinct feel as you're walking out over this bridge. And actually, I think it'd be kind of cool if I made it feel even more distinct. And there you go. Guys, I really love this. I mean, where do I even start with these? I think the biggest thing is just taking the really gray and sort of grungy walls over here on the side and contrasting that with something that's really colorful by comparison. There's the orange with the brick and the granite, and then the really nice yellow brought by the instone and sandstone. Yeah, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I really think that the instone looks good. Of course, it's not completely by itself. I also added in a whole bunch of smooth sandstone just to tone down that really just bright, overwhelming end color that Endstone has. I know I said end color, but hopefully that makes sense to you guys. And because we went so much brighter with the arch and the underside of the bridge, I decided to make the supports darker. Not quite as dark as the black stone that we have here and up above, but just enough, and even with a little bit of that red hint, just to make it so that they're really, really visible even from far away. Like, yeah, you can see the arch, you can see the supports, and I really think it looks great. And what I'm really trying to do with this build is I'm trying to set the stage for what the rest of the city is going to look like right now. I wanted to have the grungier aspects of a city with all the tuff and the stone brick down below. I wanted to have little bits of blackstone from the tower like we have on the top of the wall here and then the top of the towers as well. But I also want to give it a slightly brighter sort of Renaissance feel, and I think the bridge does exactly that. Like if I come down to the bottom layer of the tower and we just walk across the bridge, like you can really feel, even with nothing behind it but a blue sky, like eventually we're gonna have buildings and stuff and it's gonna be great. But even with nothing at all, it still just gives you that Renaissance feel. And guys, I'm in love with it. Now, as I always say, there's still so much work to be done. I've still got to add a little bit of greenery down here at the bottom to help it match the bridge and just sort of blend into the environment. And I think I might even add little bits of gravel down at the bottom just to grunge it up a little bit more. Oh, and the portcullis over here, you can't really see it, so I think I might add like a darker outline on it. Yeah, there's just lots of little details. Oh, and I need to make the bridge and all of these towers actually go underwater because right at this point, they do not. But I've really got to get this episode out soon, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to do one last little thing that I think is gonna make a really big difference. And maybe it's not, but I'm gonna give it a try anyway. I don't know, I feel a little nervous ending the episode on this because it's such a tiny detail and it really doesn't change much. But anybody who's watched the channel a bunch knows that I love tiny details that just aren't all that noticeable. Because honestly, I feel like big builds like this, as big as they are and as awesome as they are, they're nothing without all the little details in them. I mean, there's just not a person alive who's gonna go through this and notice every single little detail. But when you fly far away and you look at the build from afar, all of those little details, they combine into something huge that just really elevates the build. And so many of those little details are still yet to come, but I think we've got a great start here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed making it. I'm just feeling so excited for everything that's to come, and hopefully you guys are too. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye. Oh yeah, and the bad news. Ferdinand died. I don't want to talk about it.